What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Tuesday, November 5th. Yes, it is election day. I voted earlier today. Hopefully, everybody went out there and voted. Hopefully, everybody had their voices heard, went to the polls. Every vote counts in this election. No doubt about it, whether it's presidential or local. Definitely go out there and vote. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. Her name is Lauren Farnsworth. She is an evening anchor now at WDTV, which is based out of the Pittsburgh area. She has been a midday anchor. She's also been a reporter as well. So she has definitely worked in different roles at different times. We're going to get to talk to her about her why into the journalism industry and also get to know her beyond her occupation. I too am a journalist. I am somebody who is a freelance journalist based out of Minnesota here. So I cover sports, but I also cover different events depending on the assignment that I do pick up. But I also am in sales and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, which I bring people on once again to talk about their why and who they are as a person. My name is Chris Drummond once again. And without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, the talented, and the beautiful Lauren Farnsworth.
Hi, can you hear
Good
me?
evening, Lauren. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Wonderful to see. Just want to say you look absolutely lovely tonight. Just want to
Thank
say that
you.
you are very welcome. Very welcome. And I also want to say thank you for hopping on my podcast. Work hard, play harder. How's your night going so far? How's your weekend going so far? Or not weekend, but week going so far.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for reaching out to me. This is awesome what you're doing, but I mean, I've just been hanging out with some family today and just waiting for the election results.
As we all are.
Yes.
Pretty early to vote today. And went over to my spot that where there's all kind of polling places here. I'm sure you did the same, or you probably had early voting yourself, which is amazing. So yes, definitely waiting on those results for sure. Let me reiterate to you why I wanted to have you on here before I start peppering you with all these questions. You are a reporter, evening anchor, I believe, but you've been a reporter. You've done midday as well, and you're out of WDTV, if I'm not mistaken, in Pittsburgh, correct?
It's in Bridgeport, West Virginia, but it does usually it'll say Pittsburgh, but we're in West Virginia.
Okay, so West Virginia, got you. That's awesome. Thank you for clarifying that up. But I believe you, but it is WDTV.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so yeah, absolutely. So I definitely wanted to talk to you about your why you wanted to become a reporter. I'm a fellow reporter myself, so I love engaging with different reporters and just hearing their stories. It's a rarity that we get a chance to sit down as reporters. 'Cause we're always chasing the story, we're always reporting on the story. Being a voice for the voiceless, being an advocate for community, right? But no one really gets to sit down and ask us questions about or break bread with each other about how we came into this industry and what our story is. Because everybody has a story to tell, including you. So I'm very excited to hear about yours and very happy that you decided to do this.
Yeah, of course. Um, so you're just wondering why I got into this, really?
Yeah, my first question always starts off the same way, which is, what is your why? Did you fall into it? Did you always know that you wanted to be a reporter? Did you have any inspirations, any role models growing up? But what is your why of wanting to be in the journalism industry?
Yeah, so I feel like it's really common for people to say, I have been wanting to do this since I was a child, but that was the complete opposite for me. I actually had no clue what I wanted to do. But when I was in high school, I took some journalism classes and we got to make a commercial. And so that was a lot of fun. So I liked being able to be creative and make content. And I also wanted to help people in a way as well. So throughout high school, we also had a news channel. So I was doing that and helping out with that. And my teacher really pushed me to go into journalism. And so I saw it as a way where I could still be creative, but I could also share people's stories and get the word out and help other people in the community.
I love that. I really do. Now, are you from the West Virginia area?
I am. I was born and raised in West Virginia.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that. I love it. I've only been there once, but that was for a football game. But I have to ask you because I know you went to West Virginia University. This is kind of a two-part question. The first one is, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to the hometown school of West Virginia? And how many times have you heard Country Roads? You had to hear it so many times.
Well, to answer your first question, I wanted to be in state. My dad went to WVU, my brother went to WVU, so it was kind of just staying in the state, being closer to home, and cheaper tuition also staying in state. Um,
Sure.
but your second question, I hear it all the time. Even when I'm going to weddings, it's normally the closing song, and we'll all get into like a circle and sing it. So I literally hear it all the time.
Okay. No, listen, obviously it's a great song. The first time that I heard it was my college days. I went to Kennesaw State University, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was at a Braves game and they were doing the tomahawk chalk, as you know that the Braves do. And then they bust out with the Country Road song. And I was like, I don't even know what this song. I don't know who sings this song. What's Country Roads? And then I had to look it up, and it was John Denver. And I was like, okay, let me listen to this version. And since then, many different people have done this version. Me personally, I love John's, but also like Ray Charles's too.
Yeah, even at our home football games, at the end of every game, we'll sing it. So it's definitely a part of West Virginia.
But I bet it is. That's what's up. That's awesome. I like that. Let me ask you some favorite questions. And you just give me the favorite question based upon, or give me the answer, I should say, the 411 off of these favorite questions. Are you with me?
Yep.
Okay, let's rock. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Pasta. I love pasta. I think it's so, you can do so many different things with it, have so many different sauces, so many different noodles. So it's always my go-to.
All right, we're gonna be very good friends because pasta is my favorite dish too. I love me some chicken Alfredo and some ziti. Can't go wrong
Mm.
with it,
Oh
no
yeah.
doubt. That's what's
I
up.
just
Okay.
made a gnocchi and it has Italian sausage and like a
Mm.
cheesy sauce with it and it was delicious.
I bet it was, girl. I bet you did not leave anything on that plate. I know that. Okay, that's what's up. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Um, Favorite concert. Well, I would have to say it wasn't really a concert. It was kind of like a country festival. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it was called Jamboree in the Hills. And it's because my family, we would all go together and we would have campers lined up next to each other. And so it was always so much fun to go every year.
Okay. Now, fun fact, I've never been camping ever in my life. Yeah, I've never been camping. It's on a bucket list, but I'm a city kid, so camping was no. I mean, I grew up in San Diego and then transitioned to Atlanta, Georgia. So I've
Okay.
always been in like the big cities. This is actually the first town that I've came in where I'm now doing kind of freelance. Um, and journalism. This is a small town. Like we have a population of about 14,000.
Wow, I live in a very rural area, so there's just not a lot of people. And it was actually very common. My dad used to take us camping when we were kids all the time, like in a tent, and we would pitch it and everything. And
Love
so
it.
that's like, I feel like if you come to West Virginia, you'll have to go camping here because it's one of the best spots.
Okay. Well, listen, you put a list together for me of spots to go, and I definitely will come to West Virginia again. I do want to see another football game because the football atmosphere was amazing. A buddy
Oh,
of mine
yeah.
went to Kennesaw State University. He was from West Virginia, and he took me over there because his family stayed in West Virginia, had season tickets for West Virginia football. And mind you, I didn't know really any of the players, but it was a great atmosphere over there. So I love that.
Oh,
That was
yeah. The
pretty
games
cool.
are always amazing. Everyone tailgating is so nice. They're always welcoming, giving you food and everything. So it's an amazing time at WVU.
Absolutely, no question. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Oh, I would have to say France.
Now, was that like a family trip, a girls' trip, or was that a school trip?
That was a school trip. Our French teacher in high school, we went to France and Greece,
Hmm.
and that was with EF Tours.
Okay, Lauren. All right now. We. I like that. That's what's up. Okay. Um, favorite sport you like to watch on TV, and then favorite sport you like to see in person. They can be the same sport.
Um, Probably for both would be soccer, I think.
Okay. Now, who's your favorite soccer player?
That I'm not big on sports. I don't exactly know players or anything, but I do love to watch just different soccer games every now and again, but not to the point where I'm like, know specifically the players or anything. And that's with every sport I watch.
Okay. Soccer, that's pretty good. I like the fact that you picked soccer. It's kind of out of the norm, obviously, here for the US, but I love that. That's what's up. That's pretty cool. Um, favorite place to eat at there in West Virginia? Because, like I said, when I come down there, I got to be able to have a place to eat. I'm a foodie, so where should I go to get something to eat that's really good?
Oh man. Well, since you also love Italian food, I think two of my favorite places is Oliverio's. It's run here in Bridgeport. They also have a location in Morgantown, and then
Yeah,
also Twin Oaks, which is in Bridgeport, and they're both locally owned and run.
yeah. With a name like that, you getting some authentic Italian food. That's for
Oh yeah,
sure. I like
it's
that.
amazing.
Okay, okay, say less. That's what I like to do. Okay, I'll definitely have to try out those spots for sure. Um, you let's talk about your day to day. Now, me coming in on here and talking to you, having a conversation with you, I did want to do some research and know that you went to West Virginia. But I also know I saw a commercial that you did. One of the commercials, I think it was an Alaska commercial that you did.
Yeah.
And I saw it on YouTube, and I was like, wow, okay, look at she's so poised, and it made. Hey, I love to come. I love to come on a holiday cruise. I love to do that. Where was the idea behind that of you doing that? 15-second spot on commercial.
So this trip actually already happened. It was with Holiday Vacations, and I think they
Yeah,
partner with great companies, and they will send someone at the station out. It's usually a meteorologist, actually, just because they're good with the weather and they're just telling people what's going on. But at my station, I think I was the most senior at that time, which is why they decided to pick me for that. But that was so fun to do, and the commercial was great. The guy who filmed it was his name is Alan Dye, and so it was so much fun. I had a great time doing that.
I love that. I really do. Yeah, and obviously you have a presence on camera. The camera loves you, and you just look so calm and look like just a seasoned veteran doing that, and that was really cool. Because I was like, wow, I never knew that they would do spot on commercials like that, like for vacations like that. But it was specifically tied to your station, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty cool. I thought that was cool.
Thank you.
Tell, tell me about your day to day. Now, being midday, midday is different from being just a reporter. Anchor is different from being a reporter. Now you're an evening anchor. Tell me about your day to day process of how you prepare yourself, to do anchoring, and if you have to also prepare yourself to do reporting because they're two different roles.
Oh yeah. When I prepare myself for work, I'm obviously getting ready before work, and I'll take a few minutes for myself just because it can be a lot. You're being thrown a lot of news and just a lot
Sure,
of you're having to put a lot of emotion into that. And it can be a lot, especially with the harder news that we have to cover and just going over those topics. So
without
I'll kind
question.
of watch something, maybe a YouTube video that I find relaxing, maybe my favorite YouTuber, and I'll watch that before I go into work. And then going into work, I always like to stay organized, make sure I have like a list of what I need to do that day just so I'm organized. Because as you know, we're doing a million things at a time, so many things are
Without question.
happening. So I just like to have a to-do list so that I know what I'm doing in case I do get sidetracked and then I need to get back on track. So that's
Mhm.
kind of how I prepare myself for the day into evenings.
Now, do you do what they call night side? Are you like a 2 to 11 kind of person? Are you when you say evenings, like are you like what time of the day do you have to get up and get ready to go into work?
Yeah, so my shift starts at 2:30 and it's over at 11:30, give or take. It depends if the show gets pushed. I might have to stay there until 1 o'clock. It really just depends. But I wake up earlier. I probably wake up around 9:30-ish every day. I
Sure.
also do Rover, so I also watch some dogs before I go into work also.
Hmm. Okay, I like that. Now, most journalists that should know, or people that will watch this episode, because I do a lot of different type of episodes with people on here that are journalists. 9 times out of 10, when you get into this business, you have to do multiple things to make some multiple income. That's just the way it is. I know for me, I work in sales as well, doing journalists right now, so I totally understand what you're talking about. You're working my kind of shift when I worked at a publication to be able to go and report. I used to cover 12 high schools and a college. So I would have to go to work at 2 or 3 and work till 11 o'clock. We had 11 o'clock deadlines where we had to get everything in written. And it gets very hectic, as you already know. When you're covering 12 schools, you only have a two-man department. It just gets very hectic for that. So I
Oh yeah.
totally understand your schedule, what's going on, which makes me leads me, I should say, into another question, which is mental health and work life balance. You've done different type of shifts and different type of roles. A lot of the words, Lauren, that get thrown out there, especially with our colleagues, is burnout, overworked, underpaid. I'm sure you've heard that with some colleagues, maybe, and I know I've heard that with some colleagues as well. How do you keep your mental health strong, and but also avoid burnout and those type of situations to have that work life balance? Because you do seem like a wonderful person to be around and be a friend of. I know you have a life outside of journalism. That's what we love to do, but it's not everything we are. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's still something that I'm still trying to figure out. It's definitely a balance, but it's hard. It really is.
Yeah.
One thing that I have been doing is therapy, and that's been helping me tremendously. I know some stations also have resources where you can get therapy, and it's a lower cost. But personally, I've been doing therapy. I'll take time on the weekend to do something I enjoy, even throughout the week. Just like maybe I'm playing Fortnite or doing something else that I enjoy. And then something I've also had was that I kind of put into my schedule is at the end of the week, I'll give myself a sweet treat. So I'll go and reward myself for my hard work. Or if
Mm,
I'm having even a harder day, I'll be like, okay, well, this was really hard, so I'm gonna go splurge on myself and treat myself just to give myself a little bit of dopamine, I suppose. Um,
absolutely.
but that's kind of how I navigate that, and also making time for scheduling time for friends and family, because that's a big thing. Getting out and still seeing your friends, making that time, because it can be hard. So just whenever I have time, whether that's going to get lunch or going to get dinner real quick or just something along that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really, really good answer, Lauren. It really is. I mean, listen, we don't have the perfect answer for mental health and work life balance because as reporters, our schedule is not business like, right? It's not an 8 to 4, 9 to 5 schedule. Even though you said 2:30 to 11:30 or around that time frame, you also added that sometimes you leave at 1 o'clock. So sometimes your stuff gets pushed back sometimes, and that's not a normal type of thing with a schedule. Normally, people that go to business work, once the time is up, their time is up. They clock out. That's not a reporter's life, though. Reporters don't normally do that. I love the fact that you said a sweet treat. That's something that you just gotta do. You gotta splurge on yourself, right? You gotta indulge yourself. You work hard enough on these stories and doing everything. I know for me, I like to work out. I also like to write poetry. I typically in town, I just like to for me, I had today off. Like today, for instance, today was my off day. Obviously, with the election coming on, there's not going to be really any sports going on. That's for sure. So no assignments is going to come my way. So go to the gym, work out, and then do that, and then splurge on myself. Bought something online. It's coming in a couple days, so that's pretty good. And you said you play Fortnite. I do too. So I like that. I like the fact you play video games. That's what's up. Or do you play it on PC?
I played on my Xbox.
Okay, so you got an Xbox. Okay, what other games do you play on Xbox?
That is at the moment the only one I play. I also have a Switch and I'll play It Takes Two on that sometimes.
Okay, got you, got you. I am a, I used to be a more of a game connoisseur, video game connoisseur like that. I kind of slowed down as I've gotten a little older, but Fortnite is one. Definitely play Halo. I'll definitely play. I do love my PS5 as well, and I'll play some sports games on that one because I'm huge into sports. That's just me. But okay, it's pretty
The
cool.
biggest part for Fortnite is also because my roommates from college, they also play. So we'll get on and be able to connect that way if we aren't able to like meet up or anything.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yes, absolutely. Which is something that I love to do as well because I don't have any family here. I'm based in Minnesota. Like I said, my mom, uncle, and aunt is in Georgia. My dad is actually in upstate New York. So I moved out here, graduating and came out here and I was like, oh man, okay, I have no family, so I gotta find something to do in this town and to occupy my time. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Another great segue though, because I want to hear about advice, right? And what advice would you give somebody? And I know you're just a couple of years out of college, and I'm a few more years than you out of college. But what is some advice that you would give somebody that wants to join this industry as a journalist? Because you know that this is definitely a fulfilling industry, but it's a tough one too.
Yeah, it's definitely it can be fulfilling. It can be really hard.
Hmm.
I think my biggest advice is that you really got to want it because if not, it's going to be hard. And like you said, you're going to be facing burnout, just exhaustion. You're going to be mentally drained. It's going to be hard. But if you really have a passion for this and it's really something you see yourself doing for the long run, then it's definitely worth it because I mean, the amount of people I see out in the community, I'm able to help them and do a story for them. It's just I don't feel fulfilled unless I can help someone else. So being able to do that just fulfills me and it makes me feel good. And
Yep.
it's a hard industry and you really have to work at it. If you don't want to put full effort, then I don't really think it's something that you should pursue because you also need to be a jack of all trades. And that's
Mm,
also something that's very important is knowing how to do different things because there's going to be breaking news happening. It's going to be chaotic, and you got to be able to switch gears if you need to, or be able to pivot real quick and change something. Or maybe a producer is falling behind and you need to help produce something, or
sure.
helping a reporter film a live shot, or just anything of that sort. So definitely just you have to want it because it is a hard industry. And I feel like a lot of people see it as kind of like glitz and glamour, you don't have to put in a lot of effort.
Mm,
They don't see the behind the scenes, which is there is so
right.
much work and effort being put into this, and there's so much emotional effort you have to put into these stories as well. Because I mean, personally, I'm a perfectionist, so I want the story to be clear. I want people to understand what I'm saying, and I want to be able to make an impact for someone. So just I guess just really wanting it is really going to help you push through and being able if you're fulfilled, I'm sorry, excuse me. If you feel fulfilled with helping someone like I do with this, then this will be great and you will love it because that will outweigh the cons of, not being paid as much or stuff like that.
I love that. I love that. And you gave great answers all conversation. And that's definitely the best one up part. Best one so far, I should say. Um, just to reiterate, you hit everything on the head. This is the reason why I do the podcast. To work hard, play harder, is to show the A side and the B side. The A side is what we've been talking about, right? Doing stories that nobody else told, that nobody else tells, I should say. Being fulfilled, being a storyteller, being a voice for the voiceless, being an advocate for our people that's in our communities. There's no better feeling that I've had driving to a grocery store, pumping gas, and having somebody say that they read your story or they looked at your story. And it's like, that's pretty cool. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And that's the reason why I do this. But it's also a B side. And the B side are the questions that I just pretty much laid out for you and what you just said, right? The glitz and the glamour. People don't know the behind the scenes. When you got to get up in the morning and people's in their car trying to do their makeup and their hair because they only got 20 minutes to get to a live shot when they're MMJing and they're carrying all the equipment because they got a right edit shoot set up when they're going to neighborhoods they've never been to before. when they have to be a jack of all trades and they have to learn different things. But also, I think one of the main things that people get a misconception of, Lauren, is time off. Sometimes you do miss holidays. Now, it's a benefit that you are working actually in the same town as your family, because 9 times out of 10, most reporters are not. They have to get up and they gotta kind of move. But there's a lot of times where you have to work on holidays, where you have to work on missed celebrations, missed graduations, and different things of that nature. And it's pretty tough for people to adjust to a schedule like that.
It definitely is. I think that's one thing that has been the hardest because even though I am from this area, there's been times where I've been working like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I also
Yeah,
had to work New Year's. And it's like I didn't get to see my family because Christmas Eve, I might have the day off, but I say I was working daybreak, I would have to wake up at like 3 in the morning and there was no way I could go see my family. So
sure.
that can really be hard. And I felt for the people that were coming to my station. We had a girl here for a little bit. She was from Oregon, and I could really feel for her because she was getting a little bit overwhelmed at times. And a lot of that was just because like she didn't have family here. She didn't have a lot of people here. And it's
Sure.
hard. You're going to a new city, and then you're also having to go to this job. You know, if you're a reporter, you're having, like you said, to shoot, edit, record, put everything together, do the script on your own.
Mhm.
And then you're coming home to like an empty house, and it's harder. You might be in a different time zone, so you might not even be able to talk to your family.
Yeah.
So that definitely is just, it can definitely really eat people away. And you just, again, just have to like find that balance, which can be hard, but just to try and make time for it.
Absolutely. And that's what I stress to everybody here, especially my young kids that's in high school that ask me questions about journalism. I try to stress to them that this is a wonderful business and I love it. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't do anything different. But you have to understand everything that comes with it too and be able to handle that. Make a decisive decision to handle that, right? Like you said, with the girl from Oregon. Um, I'm from California, but most of my family has migrated to different places. Nobody's out here in Minnesota. And for me personally, it was tough at first getting off at 11, 12 o'clock at night and trying to find people to hang out on a Tuesday. That was just tough because it's just not going to happen. There's nothing popping off like that. But as you move to a new spot, you get adjusted, and then you start learning people. They learn you, and then you be able to adjust to where you're at, adjust to your surroundings and make it happen. So, but it's a question worth asking for sure. I want to do this or that with you, Lauren. And what that is an interactive game that I like to play with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. Pretty much what I do is throw some things out there and you tell me whether you will go with this or that. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Okay, let's rock with it. Now we've been vibing all conversation long, girl. You've been doing good. This first question is important. Which
Okay.
one are you choosing? Popeyes or KFC?
Oh, I'm actually gonna go with KFC.
We ain't starting off on
No.
girl. We are not starting off on a good foot. That's okay. That's all right. I'm gonna give you time to redeem yourself now.
I will
KFC not
say,
bad.
I will say I'm not huge on fast food restaurants, and the only reason why I pick KFC is because I love their mashed potatoes.
Well, that's a great reason. That is. I'm not, patronizing you at all. I'm serious. That's a very good reason. I love their macaroni and cheese.
Mm,
And KFC is not a bad restaurant. I'm just, obviously being in Atlanta, Georgia, being in the South, um, Popeyes just won my heart over. And now Raising Cane's, which is up here now in
mm.
Minnesota. So yes. Okay, here we go. Do you like chicken wings?
Yes, I do like chicken wings.
Okay. Which flavor would you rather have on them? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper.
Okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
If I'm doing lemon pepper, dry.
Okay. And do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Uh, Again with lemon pepper, dry. I like the bone in.
Okay, got you. I can't say that's a messy type of thing, but dry rub, those are very good. Those are very good. I like that. Okay.
I
So
like
barbecue,
flats. I'm
you
more
would
of a
like
flats girl.
so you're okay, you're a flats girl. So barbecue, you would like it wet.
Yes.
Okay, so you would get messy for some barbecue. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Totally. I love both flavors. I'm also a buffalo guy too. I like
Mm,
buffalo. So,
yeah.
okay. These next four have to do with music concerts you rather attend. So here we go. Which concert would you rather go to? Luke Combs or Morgan Wallen?
Probably Luke Combs.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I'm a fan of both, but definitely love Luke Combs. Okay. Which concert would you rather go to? Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar.
You said that pretty quick, girl. You must like you some K Dot. Okay. Okay. I'm with you on that. I'm vibing with you on that. Okay. Here we go. Which concert would you rather go to? J. Cole or Lil Wayne?
J. Cole.
You know some J. Cole?
I love J. Cole. He's probably my favorite rapper.
Oh my gosh, girl, you gonna make a black man blush on here. Do you know how hard that is? I like that. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, last one here. Florida Georgia Line or Zach Brown Band.
Oh, I probably Zach Brown band.
You sure?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, all right. Listen, I'm not holding you at gunpoint now. You good? Zach Brown, Zach Brown Band. Both of those are really good bands, but I thought I'd throw you a little mixed curveball. It sounds like I did that with those two groups.
Oh yeah.
So I feel you on that. Okay. This next one here has to do with sports. Okay. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
I'm not bad. I don't want to say I'm great, but I'm not bad. I can hold my own.
Yeah. Do you need the bumpers?
No, I'm good without the
Okay.
bumpers.
That's all I need to know. Is if you you'd be surprised how many adults have said they need it. I said, okay, let's move on. That's all I said. Okay, here we go. Do you like desserts?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to give you four categories of desserts. You have to choose one of these you'll never eat again. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. First category is ice cream. The second category is cake. The third category is cookies. The last category is candy. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
Probably cake.
Okay. All right. I can respect that. I would have said candy. But what's your favorite ice cream?
Ben and Jerry's just released a new flavor. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's a churro ice cream, and I have been obsessed with it recently. It's delicious.
Okay. I don't think I ever had a churro in my life. I don't think
Oh,
I've had.
churros is so good.
Okay. I'm also putting that on the bucket list along with camp. I'm putting that on the bucket list. That's awesome. Okay. Do you like potato chips?
Yes.
Okay. Same format. I'm giving you four brands. You got to choose one of them. You'll never eat again. Okay. All right. Here we go. First one is Ruffles. The next one is Pringles. The next one is Doritos. The last one is Lay's. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
Oh man, I love all of these. I think I'm going to go with Doritos just because out of all of those, I think that's what I eat the least.
Oh Lord. Uh,
But I will say Doritos also has less flavors than the other three. Because you got like
uh,
salt and vinegar, you have barbecue, you have original,
there it is.
sour
There
cream and
it is.
onion.
You a salt and vinegar chip person, ain't you?
Oh yeah.
I understand. See, Lord have mercy. We're gonna have to keep it on wings, girl, if we ever eat. We can't eat nothing else. Oh my gosh.
Wings and
Uh
pasta. We still have pasta.
that's true too. Pasta might be number one. No question. Wings too, but certainly not chips. That's for certain. Do you know salt and vinegar is the second worst chip ever made?
Is that like scientific?
I think so. I mean, if you go into the Webster's dictionary and Wikipedia, I promise you it'll say that. I promise you it will say second worst chips ever made. It'll have SASNV, salt and vinegar. That's what it will say.
Fair enough.
But listen, it's not the first. It ain't number one. Number one is Funyuns. Anybody out there that like Funyuns out there, God bless your heart. That's all I'm gonna tell you. That's all I'm gonna tell
I
you.
will admit, I used to eat Funyuns in high school, but I haven't had a Funyun in so long.
Yeah, and may they rest in peace.
Yeah.
For real. They can take them off all the shelves for me because they are
Oh
terrible. No question.
yeah.
Okay. You did pretty good on this or that. I like that. I did. I want to know about your mindset because you kind of touched upon it a little bit earlier in the conversation. Your mindset about covering hard news stories. I think this is a very good question to ask. Is that when you first started covering hard news stories, how difficult was it for you to separate yourself when you got home? Because I know I've spoken to a lot of different journalists on this platform, and it's very tough for them to do. And even though they had a job to do, it was still tough on them to do it. How do you deal with hard news stories as opposed to soft news?
So I feel like there are some that really get me, but there's others. I feel like I've become almost emotionally numb to it in a sense because I've just been covering so much hard news.
Hmm.
While it's not necessarily a great thing, it is something that has just happened just from reading basically the same breaking news story, just a different person. But there are
Got you.
some where it does get me, and it is hard to separate yourself because I also want to put myself in their shoes. Like, what were they going through? Like that, just some of the things could be awful, and just trying to separate that is just really hard. I definitely, again, will talk about it in therapy and will also, try and take my mind off of it by watching maybe something good, like a cartoon when I was a kid.
Sure.
Um, but it's hard to navigate. I remember, like, even as a journalist, when I was reporting the first story I went to that was breaking news, there was a shooting, and I remember being so scared because you don't know what you're walking into. You don't know if there's anything happening at that current moment. You don't know if something's going to happen to you. So it's
Right.
very frightening. And I mean, it made me anxious. I was sweating. I was shaking a little bit just because you really don't know what's going to happen, what you're walking into. And I think it just having to take a moment and breathe. I don't know exactly the right thing to say because it is kind of hard to navigate that because it is really
Sure.
hard on you. And I mean, there's even studies saying that like news can be very depressing and you shouldn't watch it all the time. But here we are reporting on it every single day, day in and day out. And so like,
Right.
it does have that toll on us. And I think just if you can, doing therapy can definitely be a lot of help. But other than that, even just talking to friends and family, especially family, just, this is hard. I just want to check in. But I mean, I think that's my best advice for handling that because that's still something I'm trying to learn because there are days where it's just like, wow, that was a lot to take in just now. Like, and then you have to basically digest that and move on to the next thing when you're in news. So it's a lot and it can take a toll.
Yeah, love asking, I should say, that question, and that was really great, Lauren. It really was. And obviously, when I post this, I hope people really do pay attention to that. Is that it's okay to show empathy. I mean, a lot of stuff that we cover, are great stories. They're awesome stories, terrific stories, right? But there are some stories that do touch your heart. I know for me, it's kind of why I shied away from news and I went to the genre of sports. Not to say that sports doesn't have hard news stories. I know it almost got me when I was in a publication. I would say last year, anytime that kids lose and their season ends, it's tough. It's tough to stick a microphone in somebody's face and ask them questions. Even the coach, even the players, whatever it is, the players are all sobbing because they know the team is going to be different. Those seniors are not coming back next year. Um, and it's just tough. And it's also tough for me because I played sports and I know that feeling. I know that feeling of losing and losing like brothers on a high school team. And I'm not gonna say it's the same equivalent of someone losing their life, but that kind of loss and that kind of grief, um, empathy definitely is shown for sure. And I love the transparency. I love the fact you talk about therapy. A lot of people don't talk about going to therapy, I should say, because they look at it as a sign of weakness. So I really appreciate your transparency. I think people should go to therapy more, or at least have an outlet to call someone and talk to someone about things because you know we tend to internalize a lot of stuff and we can't do that as reporters because we see a lot of things and report on a lot of things And like you said, if you didn't have somebody to talk to, I think we would just go back, you know what, crazy.
Oh
So
yeah.
um, I love
And
that.
also to add to that, to the therapy, I mean, sometimes I felt like I was kind of emotionally dumping on my family or my friends and like
Yeah,
kind of bringing them down. So it's also another outlet where like I don't feel like I'm burdening a family member or a friend with this information. That can be a lot, and it's not like they're gonna have all the answers either. So I
sure.
definitely recommend therapy to anyone.
I love that. I do. It's always great to get a different perspective outside of a loved one. Sometimes loved ones tell you what you want to hear, instead of what you need to hear. So it's always great to do that. If you wasn't doing journalism, Lauren, what career path would you have chosen to do and why?
I mean, it's still on the same basis of journalism, but I think I would have probably gone into photography and start my own photography business.
Hmm.
I probably would
Okay.
have gotten into try to get into like FPV drones. I mean, I could still do that, but I think I would have tried to do FPV drones and tried to do stuff with National Geographic, taking pictures of animals and nature and that kind of thing.
Okay. And what's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is a lion, and I also never answered why I would want to do this. The reason I would want to do this is because I love nature. That's something that's been instilled with me from a young age. My dad just taking us out hiking all the time, just exploring different areas. So I think just capturing the beauty of nature, showing people things they might not be able to see every day or might not even be aware of. And
Mhm.
animals, because I love animals. I mean I do rovers, I watch dogs. So I mean growing up I've just been huge with animals, so that's why I'd want to do that. But my favorite animal is a lion, and that's mainly because I'm a Leo, but I do love lions.
Okay, that definitely explains a lot. I'll tell you that. It definitely does. I'm a huge panda person. I love pandas. I'm a huge dog lover too. Love dogs for sure. And I also love hiking as well. Recently just got back off a cruise about a week and a half ago, and we went to Cozumel, Mexico. It was a family trip, and
Beautiful.
it's one of the most beautiful hikes I've ever just experienced in my life. It was hot, but it was one of the most beautiful hikes. Just seeing the Mayan tulips and the pyramids. I really love stuff like that. So it was pretty awesome, pretty cool to see that. So
I got the chance to go there before too because of my dad. And
mhm.
while we were there, there was, I don't know if you got to experience this, there was a monkey and I got to have to hold a monkey and it also climbed onto my head and stuff too.
Not me per se, but my nephew. My
Yeah.
nephew did that, and I took a photo of that. He let the monkey get on him and climb on him and put the hand on the head. I said, "Hell no, don't do that to me. I'm good. I don't want none of that." But I did swim with some stingrays when we went to the
Oh,
Cayman Islands, so that was a little different. I'm more of a water person. I love that. That was amazing until they told me to hold the stingray. I said once again, hell no, I'm not doing that. But I'll take the picture of you holding it, and that's awesome. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, give me a top four, and what I mean by that is I want a top four of events that you would like to cover in your journalistic career. And for example, I'll give you mine. Mine is Super Bowl, NBA Finals, national championship game, college football, or college basketball. And the last one that I would like to do um, would probably be a World Series. Hopefully, my Padres
cool.
are. That'd be great. But
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
what is the top four for you?
So my top four are going to be more entertainment because I would love to be able to interview celebrities doing like the red carpet, going to like the Met.
I can
Um,
see you doing that. I could
so yeah,
totally
I
see that.
would love to do that. Even just like movie premieres of like a top movie. Like I would have loved to have gone to the Barbie movie premiere and interviewed people there. I would have loved that. Um,
Mm,
but mainly just things like that. I mean, it's all going to be the same for me, I think. It's just, the red carpet, the Met, going to fashion shows, just in that general area. I think that would be so much fun just to be able to talk and chat about that. And I also love movies. So being able to do like an interview, how they'll do with celebrities when they just finished wrapping up a movie and they'll go do a bunch of interviews. I'd love to be one of those people interviewing them, asking them questions about the movie. That would definitely be all of my top four.
I certainly can definitely see you doing red carpet. Anything red carpet, I think you would dazzle in any dress that you have on. I think you would have great conversations with the celebrities that's there. I think they would love that. I think also I was thinking while you were talking, Fashion Week. Definitely something in Paris. I can certainly see you doing something like that. That's probably like number one thought that came in my mind when I was
Oh,
asking you the question. I could totally see you doing something like that.
thank you.
But listen, we speaking into an existence and it can possibly happen. So I definitely would love to see you do something like that. What about maybe like hosting an event? Would you like to host something?
I have thought about this. I would love to be on a talk show and be the host of it. Even a game show. I think that would be amazing. I think that'd be so much fun.
What would
Um,
you talk about? What kind of topics would you talk about on a talk show?
on a talk show, I would definitely have a lot of entertainment, talk about movies and stuff, but I think one thing that's just not talked about enough that I would love to have a talk show about, which I know would have to do so much work for it, would be
Hmm.
about mental health and talking with therapists and people in the medical industry just about this. Because, I mean, like you said, a lot of people see therapy as like a weakness, and it's not. And I think speaking up about it more will make people more open to that sort of thing. So I think having a talk show about mental health and things around that nature would be amazing.
It certainly would open some doors, no question. The more we talk about it, the more people are going to pay attention to it, right? And I think that would be amazing to do. I'm a huge movie buff as well. I'm waiting for the Venom movie to come out. If it hasn't already came out yet, but I'm waiting for the Venom movie. That's the next movie I'm gonna want to go see with Tom Hardy for sure. Um, and then I saw Deadpool and Wolverine recently. Thought that was a really good movie, for sure. Um, I don't know as far as any other movie that's caught my eye outside of Gladiator. I don't know if Gladiator is definitely something I want to go see too.
I haven't gotten around to Deadpool and Wolverine, but I really want to watch that because it does look amazing. But I know those were also two different, very different things. It was like mental health and also movies. But
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah,
no doubt.
but I'm huge on movies. I love all the Marvel movies, so
Me
that would
too.
definitely be very cool to do something with that.
I love that. Okay, I love that. Now we talked about advice you would give. A lot of advice that you would give people that were coming to the industry, whether they're graduates. I'm sure there's probably some interns that probably come to that station as well that maybe shadow you or talk to others. But what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Um, So when I first started anchoring, it was a very weird experience for me. I didn't really enjoy it. I was very nervous. I was very shaky. One thing that
Mm,
has really helped me is just acting like the camera is a friend or like a family member. I like to pretend I'm just talking to my mom and that there's
cool.
nobody else watching me. I'm just directly talking to my mom and that is it. And that calms my nerves down a lot and makes me, I mean, I've gotten better to the point where like I don't need to act like that. It's fine. But for a while, I tell myself, nobody's actually watching this show. I'm just talking to my mom. And so that's something that I've always stuck with me that has definitely helped me a lot.
That's awesome. I you say that, and I know I asked you the question of if it wasn't journalism. So I never told you what mine was. Mine
Yeah.
was theater. I love theater, I love plays. Huge musical buff. I really am. I love that. And how I got through the musical stuff is that I would imagine my mother being in the crowd, even though she couldn't attend all of the plays that I did, but I would imagine her being in the crowd regardless. And I would always keep my lines and always just focus on her being in the crowd. Cause even if I stunk or if I was terrible, she'd be the one person that still would be like, you did it, baby. And you were good. And I'm sure that's probably the mindset for you too. It just calms your nerves knowing that loved one is going to love you regardless of how nervous you are.
Yeah, I love how you put that. Yeah, exactly.
No doubt. No doubt. We are getting to the end. We're going to do some rapid fire. Lauren, some rapid fire. So the first thing that comes to your mind, Okay, I want you to just blurt out, okay, based upon these rapid fire questions. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
All right, now let's rock with it. Burgers or tacos?
Burgers,
I like that. We starting off good. Waffles or fries?
fries.
Okay. Chicken or ribs?
Ooh, ooh, ribs.
Okay. If you had three songs to listen to, and you kept listening to them on repeat, and you never got tired of them, what would those three songs be?
Um, oh, Lovesick by A$AP Rocky.
Oh, okay now.
Um, Keep Your Head Up by Andy Graham.
Hmm.
I'm not sure his last name, but Keep Your Head Up.
Okay.
And probably Hurricane by Bette Midler.
That is three different damn songs. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That is three really different songs. But I
Yes.
love it. That's awesome. I love your range. I really do. If you took three people on a vacation, to anywhere that you can possibly go, money is no object here. You can go anywhere you want. Who would those three people be, and where would you go?
I would take my mom, my boyfriend, and my best friend, Nell, and I would probably take them to somewhere tropical, maybe like Bora Bora or maybe even like Hawaii.
That's not bad. Hawaii is a beautiful place. Been there. Been to Honolulu and Maui. Beautiful places, no
Oh, I'm
question.
jealous.
Listen, hey, put that on the bucket list. I have camping. You have Hawaii. That's what it
I'll
is.
put it
So,
on.
right? No doubt. No doubt. Okay. So let me ask you this: favorite color?
Purple.
Okay. Favorite card game?
Go fish. I'm best at. No, let me take that back. I'm gonna go with Uno. I'm gonna go with Uno because I forgot. I was thinking of strictly just card games with playing with just the one
I
cards I
feel
can't.
you. I was like, well, damn. Lauren taking it back, ain't she?
Yeah,
Go fish. I was like, okay, cool. Dominoes or spades?
Dominoes.
Okay. Favorite alcoholic drink?
Probably a whiskey sour.
Ooh, okay now. Okay, all right. I'm with you on that. That's one of my favorites too. No, no cap. I'm serious. I love that. That's what's up. Here we
I
go.
love it also with the they'll sometimes do the egg on top, the egg whites, and that's really good on them too.
Okay, see, Lauren, we were flying a plane, and all of a sudden you just decided. I was like, okay, you deviate from the plane. It's okay. It's all good. I'll have to try it. I can't knock it
You
until
should try it. It is really good. Don't knock it till you try it.
okay, I promise you I won't. And I will hit you up and let you know how that is for sure. But I
Okay.
love me a whiskey sour though. That's pretty good. Okay, three more for the rapid fire. Favorite, I would say, favorite TV show.
Oh, at the moment, probably Shameless.
That's a good show. That's a good show.
Yeah.
Um, I right now I'm into Silo on
I
Apple
haven't
TV.
watched it, but I have heard of it.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I'll have
pretty
to check
good.
it out.
Pretty good. They're just coming out with season two now. So thank goodness. So yeah, Silo is mine. Favorite, I would say, favorite sport outside of soccer that you would like to watch on TV.
I don't know if you want to count this as a sport, but definitely dance.
Uh, I am not going to disrespect the dance people on here. That is definitely a sport competition for sure. It's hard to do. I like it. So, what's your favorite genre of dance?
Definitely ballet and point. I used to dance and I've done a lot of styles, but I just point is just so hard and the technique you need for that is just amazing. So to be able to watch these women just walk across stage like they're walking on pillows like it's nothing, like they're not just standing on top of a wooden brick is so impressive to me and I just think it's so
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely, no question about that one. If they told you, Lauren, we got to do one thing, like as far as you have to do one job for the rest of your career, would you be an anchor? Would you be a reporter, or would you be a producer?
Definitely a reporter.
Okay, so you like going out into the field and talking to the people.
I do, and I just love being able to like make something from nothing and just see it all come alive and put everything together. I find so much joy in that. I think it's so much fun.
I love that. This is the last one for rapid fire, and I definitely need this one for me. I need a top three things to do when I arrive in West Virginia. What is the top three?
Well, you definitely need to try pepperoni roll if you haven't. That is the first thing. The
Okay.
second thing is definitely visiting New River Gorge Bridge. It's beautiful.
Okay.
And then probably I want to say the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is extremely cool.
You said the asylum?
Yes, it's
Okay.
a lot of people, they used it back in the day and they would put a lot of people in there, and now it's closed down and you can go and take tours of it. You can go inside. They also do a haunted house, so you can walk through the haunted house and stuff, and it's so much fun. It's beautiful. It's I believe it's the second largest hand cut stone building in the world still standing. I believe. I could be incorrect about that, but I'm pretty sure. And it's just it's a beautiful building, honestly, and it's just in the middle of town at Lewis County, and it's
Okay.
amazing.
No question about that. It sounds amazing. I'm somebody who loves history, so I definitely would have to definitely check that out for sure. This has been a pretty dope conversation, Lauren. It really has. To be able to learn more about you, about what you do, how you get stories together. You gave some really great advice on how you deal with things through the industry, and obviously, you're just getting started, and you're going to be doing a lot of really, really good things in the future. And I'm blessed enough to be able to have you on here on my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, as I always do with every guest I have on here. I ask, is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything in general before we conclude?
Um, I just want to say, I guess, if you haven't been to West Virginia, you definitely should come. I mean, other than what I've just told you, there's a lot of other amazing things here, and I feel like West Virginia is just a little bit overlooked sometimes. But we have some beautiful views. We have Cooper's Rock, we have Dolly Sods, just so many things. And you should also check out Mothman. We have a
Hmm,
statue of Mothman here. If you don't know who Mothman
okay.
is, you should definitely look into it. He's a West
Okay.
Virginia cryptid, pretty cool. But other than that, I want to say thank you, Chris, for having me on and letting me share my story and talk about what I've been doing. I love what you're doing. I think it's amazing. I've talked about doing something like this before because I definitely think talking to reporters, like you said, we don't always get to hear their side of things. So it's amazing what you're doing, and thank you for having me on.
No, no question. It's really great. Every story is worth hearing. Every story is worth telling. It's amazing what we do. It's amazing what everybody does who's a journalist. People just don't know what we go through. And I think people need to know that, not just because they should hear it, but maybe they might be intrigued to want to know this lifestyle and be able to want to, pursue it themselves. So it's just a plethora of reasons why I do this. And like I said, I'm just blessed enough to have people like yourself that agree to hop on my podcast to do it. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful Tuesday evening, and you and I would definitely be in touch. There's no question.
Definitely. Well, thank you again, Chris.
Mhm.
Bye.